not friends with you. My wife started working for a new company in July. When she first started the new job, she mentioned a male coworker a few times, how he was helping her a lot, friendly, etc. After a couple weeks she stopped mentioning him altogether. 2 weeks later she was pregnant. We hadn't been using protection but were also not actively trying to get pregnant. We had gone without protection for nearly 2 years, usually sleeping together just once or twice a month, so not getting pregnant wasn't a surprise. Still, we went 2 years without getting pregnant, then all of a sudden it happens. She noted that the co-worker was Persian. She isn't adventurous with food and never tries anything new or other cuisines. I looked at her bank statements and from September to now she has gone to Persian restaurants 6 times. On days when I know she goes for lunch between work hours. She's been dressing differently and doing her makeup more. She has said this is because she is working in a public place now rather than a building that was closed to the public entirely. She suggested a baby name that is similar to the man she works with. She suggested the name Bayan. His name is pronounced Bayan. Like I said, she has been going to Persian restaurants, but she has also been wanting to try different foods at home. She says she went out for lunch once with co-workers and realized she liked the food. Her company is almost all females and female-dominated, pharmacy. Of 35 full-time employees, 3 to 4 are males. What I know about the male co-worker is his name. He's around my wife's age and a single father. I have tried to check her phone and laptop, but she has been keeping them on her 24/7 or hiding them. She used to always keep her laptop beside our bed. Now when she's at work I cannot find it anywhere. One day she took it to work with her and would have no reason to use it. She sleeps with her phone under her pillow. When I have told her that I was going to clean out parts of the house, she gives an excuse for me not to rather than being happy it's getting done. Says she will do it. When I've asked to borrow her phone or laptop, I get lines like it's dead, I have an alarm set that will be messed up, not working, etc. My wife has a 15-year-old from a previous relationship. She got pregnant at 15. We have 3 kids together. We have been married for 9 years and married because she got pregnant unexpectedly. So, getting pregnant on a whim by another man isn't exactly beneath her. On the other hand, she has never kept a lot of male friends, if any. I can't recall any male friends honestly. She is shy and doesn't like to be around my friends, mostly male. She'd rather hide out in our bedroom or office than visit with friends. So, going around screwing another man would be out of character. We don't exactly have an amazing physical life, and never really have. I'm fine with it, but she didn't previously come off as the type to jump on another man when even in our prime she wasn't that way. Am I being stupid and paranoid here? Once they come out of my mouth, I can't take back the words I want a paternity test. I'd rather not cross that bridge unless justified. We have had ups and downs, what marriage hasn't, but I wouldn't say we have a bad marriage. She works late sometimes and I have no proof that she really is staying at work. She works downtown though, so walking places is easy and typical. When I have told her that I was going to clean out parts of the house, she gives an excuse for me not to rather than being happy it's getting done. Says she will do it. She had that reaction when I said I was going to organize and declutter the bedroom, filing cabinets and spare closet. When I did the basement, spare bedroom, kids' rooms, garage, she didn't care. I have gone through all of those spaces, whether she wanted me to or not, and haven't found anything. I don't know what she could possibly be hiding. It makes me more paranoid wondering what the hell it is that she doesn't want me to physically find. I have no idea what days we had slept together in July, or even last month. I know that 95% chance we only had slept together on a Friday night, said only because my wife doesn't like to sleep together before work and only wants to have fun when our kids are gone. My mother takes our kids 1 or 2 Friday, says a month, the same days that my stepson goes to his dad's. Knowing we probably had slept together 1 or 2 Fridays or says a month doesn't get me very far. Actual dates, I have no idea. If we didn't sleep together at all that month, then I'd have something, but we did. And not sure how much she would talk in the car. She isn't much of a phone talker. In the morning she leaves with just enough time to get to work. She works the closing shift and stays late sometimes. When she first started the company was having a lot of time management problems, and she was late almost every day. For the first week or 2 I was picking her up and dropping her off at work because her car, we were searching for a new car for her. So, I know she was staying there. She was on time for a while after that, then went back to being late some days. Sometimes up to 90 minutes late. I think that was once or twice. Whoever does the closing shift does have mandatory overtime when needed. I'm having a hard time finding the line between stating facts and defending my wife, the woman I married, the woman I thought I married. I don't know what he looks like. My wife said he's Persian, which from my understanding would make him from Iran, Afghanistan. Assuming he has dark hair, dark eyes, and the olive skin, it may be obvious that the baby is his. Not necessarily though. My wife and I are both white. She has blonde hair and blue eyes. I have very dark brown. My wife calls it debatable black, and green eyes. Our 3 kids were born with black hair that fell out and came back blonde. 2 have brown eyes, as does my entire mom's side. So, off the bat, maybe not. With me having dark hair, a dark-haired baby isn't an immediate conviction. The skin color though, we're both ghosts. I'd rather not get to that point. In hindsight, I should have looked right away. You are right that she had time to move whatever she was hiding, or delete whatever she was hiding. It could be possible that she was hiding her computer in one of those places and moved it or cleared it off. I don't know what physical stuff she could otherwise want to hide. She doesn't talk on the phone much. I mostly hear her call my mom or her grandmother. When she does, it's anywhere in the house she happens to be. The only place she could really hide would be the basement or garage. Those are the only places I wouldn't be able to hear her from, especially the garage. I wouldn't be able to surprise her easily. Maybe that's the spot to put one. Not expecting much. There is no coming back from accusing her of cheating, especially being pregnant with another man's baby. I said that to her when she got pregnant with our first child, and spent years paying for it. I didn't have any reason to say it, other than being surprised she was pregnant, as it was unplanned and we had been together for a short amount of time. Confronting her about it might not be the best idea. I don't want to play detective for the rest of my life, but also don't want to end my marriage and break up my family without knowing for sure. I feel like I don't really have proof, just suspicions. I also, though, don't want to find out when that baby is born that it's not mine. I haven't considered following her at lunch. I have felt tempted to drive by her work while she is on lunch, because from the road you can see right into the staff room. If she was looking that way, it would be very obvious though. It's possible I'd be able to see her get into a car with someone or walk to a restaurant with someone. That would probably do it for me. I don't know what would be worse. Her sleeping with another man, when she already won't sleep with me that often, or her doing a lot more with him than she's ever been willing to do with me. I'm trying not to think about that. She isn't on her phone all the time. She always has it on her but isn't usually glued to it. Some nights when she comes home from work, she is glued to the phone, but that's few and far between. She usually comes home and spends a lot of time with our kids. I know her password for her phone, but never use it. She sleeps with it under her pillow or somewhere else. If I ask to use it, she's either using it or needs a second to check something. The paranoid part of me says she uses that time to clear anything I shouldn't see. I don't really like her using my phone or computer, but I'm not hiding anything. I use incognito sometimes, not hiding anything. So, finding the balance is hard. We had been dating for about 5 months when she got pregnant. The first 2 months we saw each other 2 to 3 times, so it felt more like 3 months of dating. We were not sleeping together regularly, a bit more than we is now probably. It was very unexpected and unplanned, and she hid it from me for months. She was nervous and got more nervous the longer she hid it. She got pregnant in January and told me about it in April or May. I had suspicions and had a bad reaction. I don't have doubts anymore about the paternity. It was a result of me being an immature prick. If she had posted about me during that time period, she probably would have had a 100% reaction of dump him. In all of this, I am glad that I am having some confirmation that I'm not being crazy and paranoid without reason. Her reason for sleeping with her phone is in case she has an emergency call in the middle of the night. Her grandmother is 98 and she has an aunt who is 100 and she is very close to both. She keeps her phone on silent because she gets annoyed with all the notifications and keeps her phone under her pillow so she can be woken up by a call. That is the reasoning I've gotten. She has also said she uses her phone before falling asleep and just falls asleep that way, and likes it there so she can easily reach it in the middle of the night. She wakes up very fast if I start feeling around for her phone. Says she is a light sleeper after having 3 kids, 2 of whom wake up many times a night. I don't have high hopes, but I can try and put a recorder in her car. I don't know anything about them, though. I'll have to figure that out. I think I used one back in university for lectures, maybe. Her laptop is a Mac, and that might be harder to track, if I can even get a hold of it. Her phone would be easier, I think, since it's an Android and doesn't really delete info, from what I understand. I called her office directory this morning and got the man's full name. Knowing his first name helped a lot with that. I looked up her office directory online to see the spelling, so I have his first and last name. So, my wife is wanting to use the name Brian for a boy. This guy's name is Bayon. That cannot be a coincidence. I don't want to drive myself crazy for no reason, but also don't want to sweep something under the rug. I don't have access to our phone bills. Our plans are through my dad's account, because he works for the company and it's free. Been that way for nearly a decade and we've never changed it. As far as I know, being in Canada, I cannot see call records as they are considered confidential and not accessible. I can try and figure that out though. Working for the company, my dad may be able to access some more info than otherwise readily available. She started the job July 3rd, and right at the end of the month found out she was pregnant. About 4 weeks from starting the job to a pregnancy test. I know sleeping together once a month can do it, or 100 times a month might not do it. Our first was unplanned. Our second was conceived on the first try, once that month but timed. Our third was planned and took close to a year. You are right that it is a crapshoot. I'm not relying on that at all. I am very tempted to simply demand her phone or just rip it from her hands. I am interested to see what she had deleted. Or maybe I really don't want to see that. She hasn't changed the password on her phone, so if I did have it, I could see whatever. She could be clearing it often. Does factory resetting affect those programs? I am very tempted to just rip it from her hands and dig through it. It could put an easy stop to this. And if there is nothing there, then maybe I'm just paranoid. It may be a stretch to suspect that the baby isn't mine. That would mean that she met another man and have slept with him within 2 weeks. Unless she was already sleeping with someone else, and it's not the co-worker at all. For all I know, she is sleeping with a group of men or going half a block away to a strip club. Paranoia is getting worse. I don't know what's worse. Her immediately whoring around with another man, or her having real feelings for another man ongoing for months. My wife never showers. She always has a bath. She always takes her phone and uses it while in the bath. Even when we are in the car together and she has to get out for a minute, like to run a child into school or get milk from a corner store, she takes her phone. Even if her phone was plugged in, she unplugs it and takes it. If we both go in together, she doesn't take it. I've asked to borrow it while she runs in and she can't find it or forgot it. Which brings me back to wanting to just rip it from her hands when she won't be expecting it. The overwhelming consensus is that there are a ton of red flags that mean only one thing. It almost feels stupid to waste time, energy, resources to this. If I find out that she has been having an affair, I will divorce her. My wife doesn't have a high physical drive. It used to bother me, but honestly, I stopped caring about it years ago. Our physical life is the least of my concerns right now. We have slept together once or twice a month. It's decent bonding and I'm fine with it. My drive has gone down a lot. Part of our problem is that my wife won't sleep together when the kids are home because she cannot relax, which equals no enjoyment at all for her. She barely enjoys it as it is. Kids being home works against me. Least of my concerns though. I went to her work this evening when her co-workers start getting off. People at her office start getting off at 5. She gets off at 6:30. I wanted to see who came out and put a face to who is maybe sleeping with my wife. I also wanted to see if I could see my wife with someone. I borrowed my dad's car, which she wouldn't recognize unless looking for it. Of course, though, it started snowing heavily and I couldn't see anything. She didn't get out of work though until 7. What was she doing for those 30 minutes? She said work was just backed up, and she does have mandatory overtime. I felt like a stalker, still do. With our youngest, we didn't register the birth until our son was 2 months old. For those 2 months, legally he didn't exist. It's all done online here, nothing at the hospital. At least that's one thing I don't have to worry about. If I decide to test, I will not be signing anything if I'm having doubts. I know that can get someone screwed over. Comment, as hard as it is, I think you should wait to confront. Continue to monitor in the hopes that she'll eventually get lazy and slip up. What if you get the phone from her and find nothing there except a Snapchat installation containing no messages? She'll claim she didn't even know it was installed. Or what if the messages you find are completely innocuous because they're smart enough to avoid a paper trail? Where does it leave you, except to give her the moral high ground, possibly undeserved at that she'll use to shame you into backing off? At that point, any affair will be taken underground and hidden better than you can imagine. You really need to give the VAR a chance to work. While she might not be a phone person, her Persian friend might be. Often women in an affair are willing to do anything their lover asks for, and phone calls are certainly an easy accommodation. OP responds, I looked through my wife's phone and found nothing. She has texts with numerous co-workers, including the man I've suspected she's having an affair with. All entirely work-related and with a few exceptions all during work hours. All going back to July. I looked at her photos and found nothing other than pictures of our kids and dog. Internet history didn't show anything pointing to an affair. Some forums, baby naming sites, recipes, online shopping, Reddit. I looked up posts she made in forums and there was nothing pointing to her having an affair. The 3 I checked were a baby name site. She was asking for name suggestion and included the name Byron but didn't tie it to another man. She mentioned names I said I did and didn't like and referred to her husband. Her profile goes back 7 years and I could see posts from all of that time. There wasn't a lot of posts, under 10 every few years, when she would have been pregnant. The other 2 were pregnancy, baby-type groups. One going back 9 years, the other 5 years. Too many posts to look at, over 1,000 on one, but again, from what I read, nothing suspicious. I read that one of the groups has a Facebook page associated with it, used her phone to search that, and didn't find anything. Just comments she had made on other posts. I checked her emails, she has 5 different accounts on her phone, and found nothing there. Checked inbox, sent, drafts and deleted. She has him on Facebook, and other co-workers, but no Facebook messages from him. I looked at the suspected man's profile and didn't see anything related to my wife, and for the record he appears to be a single father like my wife said. So what crap is she hiding from me? Why is she guarding her phone so much? There was nothing there. Nothing. I didn't find her laptop, and don't know where else to look for that. I checked under the mattresses, like I saw suggested. I read all of her text conversations. She had them to various co-workers that were all work-related and most during work hours. My parents and brother, a couple relatives, and a few friends. There was nothing in any of them. She didn't know I was going to be looking at her phone, so I'm at a loss right now and feel like I need to check myself into a mental house. I am going to try and see if she has any recently deleted apps and see if I can use the phone program to restore deleted messages. Her laptop password has been the same for a long time, so it should still be the same. She has let me use it semi-recently but watched me like a hawk when I was on it and wouldn't fall asleep until I gave it back to her. Had a crappy day and today just feeling like I should throw in the towel and be done with it. Her work email was on her phone, however, I didn't see anything at all in the sent or inbox folders. It was all work-related and almost all during work hours. You are right that there are so many times they can be together in ways they can communicate that I might never have an answer. With all the red flags, maybe it's time to give up. Just tell her that I know she is having an affair. I took her car keys after she had unlocked the car and put her things in the car, leaving the keys inside as she always does. She thought she lost them, which wouldn't the first time or second. I dropped her off at work, her phone still locked in her car in our garage. The first thing she did when she got home was go get her phone. When I picked her up, the first thing I said to her was, I want to talk to you about something, and that I wanted to wait until we got home because we had 2 kids in the car. She was nervous the whole way home. I did have something to talk to her about, but it was completely unrelated to her sleeping around. She seemed relieved. I don't think she was planning on me seeing her phone. I haven't said or done anything to give her a warning sign. Not that I know of, at least. I have had a VR in my wife's car for the week. The only things I've caught are phone calls to various appointments in stores. With one phone call with the man in question, and it didn't prove anything. The conversation was along the lines of, my wife received a call. This was their convo. W, hey Bayon. Morning, how are you? W, pretty good. Tired, but you know how it is. Rough night. W, 1 sick kid and 1 teething. We were up all night, so I'm quite tired. Sorry to hear that. Are you coming in today? W, yeah, I'll be in at 10. Would you be able to come in earlier? Like now? We're swamped here. W, yeah, no problem. I can be there in 20. Awesome. Thanks. End of convo. Nothing. Like everything else, nothing convicting. At best, I have proof of a work friendship, and proof that I'm a psychotic bastard. I want to tear apart every word and sentence, break it down and read between the lines for some tiny clue that she's screwing him. I haven't found where she hides her laptop while she's at work. However, I have had access to her laptop once over the week. She fell asleep watching a show on her laptop, which left it logged in because the show was playing. There wasn't anything that I could find, and her history hadn't been cleared in a long time. I couldn't find her work email, though I know she accesses it from home. I'm not finding anything. All I'm finding is how far I will go on a hunch that is proving to be psychotic. I'm supposed to trust my wife, not want to find out she's screwing another man. I should be happy that I'm not finding anything, but I'm not. It shouldn't be hard to accept that she's not cheating. That should be easy. She is my wife. The paranoid side of me reads into their conversation and thinks, why does she have his number as a contact? Why is she talking about our kids? Why is he wondering about her night? Why is she happy that he's staying late with her? Why is he offering to stay late? What are they really doing when staying late? Being realistic can explain it all. How does one just drop the paranoia and stop? I give up. I have checked her phone, checked her computer, searched the house, searched her car. I've listened to her conversations. The closest I've found isn't 100% proof. I can't deal with it anymore. I'm just going to straight up ask her if she's screwing him and if he knocked her up. She has been leaving her work during lunch and parking downtown. Doesn't prove anything. There are condos, stores, offices in that area. I followed her and she went into a parking garage. She was alone. He could easily live in that area. There are condos across the street from where she parked. I couldn't see where she went. I asked her if she ever goes anywhere on her lunch and she said no, unless going out with co-workers for lunch, which she hasn't done recently. The only reason to lie is so I don't find out the truth. She is going to her work's Christmas party but has told me that she isn't going. In a phone call she told the man that she is going. She bought a new dress for what she claims family pictures. I'm guessing she's wearing that to the Christmas party. It's not something one would normally wear for family pictures. She has no interest in sleeping with me. She has slept in one of the kids' rooms for the last 2 nights. She has been quiet and distant lately. She can do a DNA test while pregnant. Has it done and be done with it. I have a tracker in her car. Last week she went to the same spot 3 times. Made no mention of it to me. I don't know the man's address and haven't been able to find it. Hiring someone to follow him and see where he lives seems crazy. If it's at that point, I should just leave her. If he does live in that area, then that proves what she is doing at lunch. If he doesn't live in that area, all it proves is that she isn't sleeping with him. I can't go to the Christmas party without her knowing or have someone else go. It would be close to the public, so not just anyone can waltz in. I'm going to ask her again if she's going to the Christmas party or tell her that I want to go and we should go. The wrong answer or reaction, and I'm asking her how long she's been sleeping with him and when she's doing a DNA test. I have kept a VAR in my wife's vehicle since November 17th. I have found very little to work with. I found a variety of calls to and from appointments, family members, some calls to co-workers, including the OM, but nothing convicting. I was expecting to hear a call of her flat out saying she is sleeping someone. That hasn't happened. The warning calls have been from OM. In February she had a call from the OM she had taken 2 weeks off work for a medical reason. The first thing he said was, "Hey honey." They talked about her medical issue pertaining to her pregnancy. He said he's missed her and the day sucks when you aren't here. Said they will catch up the following day when she's back at work. However, he didn't know she was going back to work, another co-worker told him. So, my wife didn't tell him. But honey, no thank you. He called her honey in 2 more calls that week. Both were short calls asking if she was almost there and see you soon. In January my wife had a series of phone calls from the same number that were not answered or called back. A number from out of our area that I didn't recognize. I acknowledged it but couldn't find anything on it. I recovered deleted data on her phone after the February calls. She had deleted texts from a few people, some random texts from family and friends that didn't seem to be anything. There was one text which matched the number that had called her multiple times. The text came after the calls, no calls after the text. "Hey, how are you? I know it's been a long time since we last talked. I haven't forgotten about what I did, and I want to apologize for it. I know I was a prick. It's probably the furthest thing from your mind now, but regardless, I'm sorry for the way I acted. I was immature, emotional, and handled the situation terribly. It's crazy to think about how close we were, how much I loved you, and where we are now. Strangers, what I had with you is irreplaceable. I want to apologize for our last day. Emotions got the best of me and my reaction was terrible. I get emotional now just thinking about it. I sincerely hope that things are better for you. You deserve it. I have been thinking about you lately. I have every year at this time but didn't want to bother you. I know that I'm not your person anymore. I truly hope that you have found that in your husband and have stopped internalizing everything. So many memories come flooding back. I imagine it is the same for you, and unfortunately most are not good memories. I really hope that you all are doing well. I am so sorry for everything. So sorry, from things within my control and for the things totally out of my control. If I could fix it all or do it better, I would. I wish I could have supported you better rather than simply try and fix it. I wish I could have always been there for you. Maybe it's for the better that I couldn't. I'd love to hear how you are doing, if that's something you'd be interested in. If not, I hope you are doing well and wish you the best. I really do mean that. If you don't want to catch up, I'll take the hint and won't bother you again. It has been a long time and maybe there is too much water under the bridge. It's understandable. Either way, I sincerely hope you are doing well and I'm sorry. As soon as I saw that, I immediately called my wife out on it. I shoved the damn computer in her face. All she did was start crying and call me a jerk, then locked herself in our bedroom. I straight out told her that I know she has been cheating and that baby isn't mine. I said some things that I shouldn't have said, including calling her a bee with at least 3 baby daddies. She will not admit to cheating. Not a single damn admission. Not even a hint at it or just once. My comment, talk isn't getting you anywhere. She doesn't have to tell you anything. That text is pretty damn evidence of an affair, made more so by the refusal of your WW to tell you who it is. Her refusal to do DNA testing, and the reaction of the other number to you call and blocking you. She has since warned him that you know of the but not who he is. Heck, even how she broke down crying instantly when you confronted, called you a name, and then ran and hid. If you want to find out who OM is, your best bet is to hire a PI to run down the number. Also, just because this clear evidence does not seem to point to co-worker, but rather to someone else, does not mean she has been innocent when it comes to him either. Sounds like your WW is going to roll the dice and hope their DNA testing doesn't flat out show her to be a liar. She is unlikely to confess. Possible getting slammed with D papers will change that, but don't count on it. Best chance of proving the infidelity and getting her to confess is find out who OM is and then expose the to his GF if he has one. In other words, get proof and blow the affair up. Part 2 ending coming today as well. Sub to catch the ending towards this marriage lesson.